Well, guys, the time has come. We finally have a brand new Scream movie in theaters, and yes, it is a perfect legacy sequel. It's going to piss some people off, it's going to make some people happy, it's going to make you smile and bring all those nostalgic flavors back, but most importantly, it's going to make all the Wes Craven fans proud, and also, in general, I think if Wes was alive, he would be proud. Wait, give me 1 second, guys. I'm getting a call. Hello?
Well, hi, Zach. Do you like a good scary movie?
Well, yes, I do love scary movies. I'm actually reviewing one right now. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'm a film critic.
Not a film critic. You're not even on Rotten Tomatoes.
Who's this?
Let's play scary movie trivia,
I don't have
Zach.
time to do, like, trivia and stuff right now.
Better have time.
I really don't have time to do trivia. Can we do this another time? Can I call you later?
Can't. You don't even have my
Your
number.
voice sounds very familiar. You ever seen the movie Scream?
Worse, now you're in the next Scream movie. Ha
This is a prank call, ain't it?
Not a prank call, Zach. It's your worst nightmare.
I'm gonna hang up now. I'll talk to you later.
I don't regret that.
A little bit creepy. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get down to the review. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're going to be discussing Scream, or Scream 2022, or Scream 5. I mean, it's all those things put together, but this is the latest movie in the franchise for Scream. And again, this is a non-spoiler review. You are safe here. I'm going to be pretty vague going into this because the best part about Scream movies is not knowing who the killer is and trying to piece it together while you are watching the movies. And that is one of the greatest things about the Scream franchise is it's a whodunit in the horror franchise. It's so much fun in that venture. And if you guys don't know, I'm actually pretty new to the Scream franchise. I was very much late to the party. Out of all the franchises in the horror realm, this was the one that I finally caught up on thanks to my girlfriend. We watched it through October, November, and of course, kicking off the New Year's, we actually finished 3 and 4, and I absolutely came to love this franchise to pieces, and I will be doing a ranking of all these films later down the week, so do look forward to that. But in today's video, we're just going to be reviewing Scream 5, and I overall loved it. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I do love it. I have like one nitpick with the film that we will talk about, but overall I do think this is a perfect legacy sequel. And when I mean legacy, I mean talking of the likes of Halloween 2018, or whether we look at the Star Wars films like Star Wars Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalkers. This is one of those typical things that we come about where some of the main characters are coming back. It's brand new directors taking on board, and it's also just in general coming back to where we had all began, but also giving us new characters to cheer on for. And that's something that we've seen quite a bit, especially with All in Hollywood. And of course, within a Scream movie, what would you expect for them to play all on that? Of course, Scream 5 takes place 25 years after a streak of brutal murders that shocked the quiet town of Woodsboro, and a new killer dons the Ghostface mask and begins targeting a group of teenagers to resurrect secrets from the town's deadly past. Now, this movie, of course, stars Neve Campbell, Courteney Cox, David Arquette, Marley Shelton are all back in their respected roles. But we also have the likes of Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, Dylan Minnette, Jack Quaid, Jasmin Brown, Sonia Ammar, Mikey Madison, Mason Gooding, and more, who are all coming in now to play the respectful new roles, as well as be along with our legacy characters. Now, of course, once again, I've been very much excited for this movie, especially even more after I was jumping in and seeing the films and seeing why people had so much loved this franchise. But the thing that really got me hyped about this was the directors involved, who directed a little bit of a little film, if you haven't seen it yet, Ready or Not, which I very much heavily emphasize. If you love this movie and you haven't seen that movie yet, you should absolutely go see it. It'll show you why they got Scream. But of course, before we get any further into this video, if you guys are new here and you love talking movies, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking movies over here on a daily basis. I love talking movies, and if you are here, you're probably here to do the same thing. So let's have a great conversation down below in the comment section as well. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. Starting with my pros, like I love doing with all my reviews, one of my big things I want to talk about first is the performances in here. Of course, the legacy characters coming back really much fit into their roles once again. I was really happy to see that Judy Hicks was actually in here. I think Marley Shelton brought such a nice charismatic vibe in Scream 4. It was nice to see that she reappeared in here. But the three big characters that we were looking forward to seeing in here was, of course, David Arquette, Neve Campbell, Courteney Cox, and they're all fantastic. And the thing that I actually really liked about this compared to many other legacy sequels is they actually very much centered the film on the newer characters, and maybe that worries some people, but the screen time that they actually give to these legacy characters was enough to make me feel satisfied, while as well making me love these brand new Scream characters to their own lengths. And that's a really important thing when it comes down to legacy sequels. Sometimes they give too much time to the older characters and not enough to the newer characters, so then if any of the older characters end up maybe not coming back for a sequel down the road, or say they die, those are big things that happen in so many different films, whether it's Halloween 2018 or even Star Wars. We see this all the time happen, where maybe we don't come to fall in love with the newer characters yet, and I really liked how they gave so much time to those, but also respected the legacy characters for who they were. And Neve Campbell, fantastic as Sidney Prescott. Courteney Cox, fantastic Gale Weathers, and of course David Arquette as Dewey Riley was just superb. I loved all of them, and the way that they had just such great callbacks in here. It felt great, but not just nostalgia to be nostalgia. I also do want to talk about the performances in here from some of the newer cast, specifically Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, who I both thought were phenomenal in here. I mean, bar none, both were excellent, and I truly think that if they were to continue the Scream franchise, they would be two fantastic leading ladies to have in here. I've already been pretty big fans of them after In the Heights, and of course, a new film coming out to HBO Max very soon called The Fallout that stars Jenna Ortega. Both of them are incredible, and I can't wait to see what they do next in their respective careers. Also, Dylan Minnette, Jack Quaid, Sonia Ammar, Jasmin Brown, Mikey Madison, and Mason Gooding also really much bring such a grand vibe to this friend group. And in a sense, while again, it's a legacy sequel, so they're going to compare and contrast to certain things that happen in the other films, the way that they do that within this friend group, I thought was fantastic. But overall, when it does come down to this movie, one of the things that I was so surprised by in this movie was, and I always get surprised by this, but every Scream movie lives in that time period that it was very much in. Scream 1 was very meta for the time of horror films in there. Scream 2 was very meta to the sequels around times in there. And then, of course, even the third film was very meta to third films in a franchise as well. And even when the fourth film came out, it was one of the big first legacy sequels to really come out of nowhere. And I think it was very much ahead of its time. While I don't think it's perfect, I actually think if you just tweaked it here and there, it would have been. And I think as Wes's last film, it was such a fantastic way to really much leave his legacy as one of the biggest franchises that he ever started. I do like how that movie was very much ahead of its time, but I think Scream 5 actually perfected all of that and more in a way that it tackles toxic fandom. Now, I think if you're not someone who's into the Twitter sphere, the film Twitter community, or even in general things that happen alongside of there, if you're not very much versed in what's going on in the Star Wars community, some of the horror community, all that sorts of things where like people are like attacking each other over the internet over movies, maybe you are, maybe you've heard about it. This movie guts right to it and very much details and dissects it in a very clever, meta, on the nose feel that Wes would have been proud of, because this is exactly what is wrong with, of course, fandom today. And I love how this movie was able to tackle it in such a fantastic way that, again, while on the nose and very hitting you over the head, it makes sense. And I'm actually curious to see how like normal audience members who don't know about that feels about certain dialogue moments that really much dive into those, because I was having a ball with it because I'm a part of this. I see this fandom happen all the time, especially even in the comment sections of YouTube videos. But I loved how they were able to handle it because it's all so true. I actually think it tackles both sides, the toxic side and the people who are like, we want the best sequels ever, how dare they ruin them. Also the side that is very excited and seeing, but they're like, you know, this could have been better if you tweaked this, and there. Both been on either sides, once again, depending on what franchise or legacy sequel that comes out of nowhere. But I was just really happy to see how Scream was able to tackle it, and it had some very meta jokes that had me rolling in my seat. And there's two other elements that are very important too when it comes to a Scream movie. You know, we've already talked about the characters, we've talked about the meta-ness, and even the humor weaved in out in there, but the two biggest things that I haven't mentioned yet are the kills and the whodunit mystery. Now, again, non-spoilers, I'm not going to say who dies, who lives, or anything of that nature. I'm not even going to hint towards it. But with the kills, they are gnarly. I thought Scream 4 was pretty bloody, and I think there are a couple kills in there that maybe still are the goriest kills we've gotten yet in a Scream movie. But there's 2 or 3 in here that are probably hands down some of the best kills that we've ever gotten in a Scream film yet. And one in particular is like engraved into my mind, and I loved it. And it was freaking awesome. And just going from there, it gets more brutal and brutal as the film goes. And I thought they did such a fantastic job making it organically into this horror film and not just being gore to have gore. Now let's also talk about the whodunit, because this is where I get to a specific part. Some of the Scream movies, specifically Scream 3 and Scream 4, I thought the killer was a little bit obvious. Scream 1, I started to figure it out as it was going on. Scream 2, I figured it out like a couple seconds beforehand, and that's when I love it, is when you figure it out right before it happens or when the characters find it. And it's very hard for a mystery to surprise me in any of these avenues, and man oh man may I say, I think Scream 5 actually has one of the best twists, one of the best turns. And while you're starting to figure it out and piece together, and as characters die, you're like, oh, maybe it's this person. Oh, maybe it's this person. Oh, maybe it's this person. As it's leading up to there, some of your theories, some of your thoughts may come true, but the trailers did such a good job at hiding what the actual twist is, who the actual killer is, and I loved it. In fact, when it finally happened, when it finally clicked in and happened, I was like, 5 seconds beforehand, I was like, oh, it's them! And boom, it happened. And I was like, damn, I was right. Oh, I was completely wrong going into the movie with my predictions. I was right, and I felt so satisfied in that one moment, and in the reveal, all that sorts of nature. It is shocking, again, it's brutal, and it just works for the tone of this film. And there's nothing unlike hearing the phone ring, getting Scream's voice back on the line, and seeing, of course, that iconic mask. And again, while I am not the biggest, like, I can't say that I've been the biggest fan of Scream for all my life, just the last couple of months, and I can't wait to continue to be a fan of this franchise. I might have been late to the party on that, but I'm happy to finally be here. Before I do want to go to one of my cons, and it's literally my only nitpick of the entire film, and if you would have taken this out, I actually think it would have rivaled how great the original one is and probably been a classic for legacy sequels today. That issue I have with this is I do think there are a little bit too many plot conveniences. Now, I do understand that the original Scream movies do have tons of those plot conveniences, and this movie addresses some of those. In fact, in the way it addresses it is, of course, with modern technology. You can lock locks on your phone now, you can check caller ID, you can do all sorts of things like that now on your phone, track locations, and they have a ball playing with the new technological advances that are happening in our modern day society. And I think it's fun to kind of compare and contrast to the 90s now, but adding in there, the plot conveniences I'm talking about is, of course, when Ghostface jumps out behind a door and he's on the phone with this person and you're just like, really? And again, maybe on rewatches this won't bother me as much, or maybe even thinking about it, maybe you'll be able to be like, okay, well, I guess with modern day technology this would make sense and this would make sense. But there's a couple plot conveniences in here that I can't really get into because of spoilers, but as I just sat there, like, there's one point in time where Ghostface turns on a car and revs it, and then the guy goes up and, like, there's no one there. And for the scare effect in there, I was like, cool, this is creepy and the tensity is rising up. But how did that happen? This car is not like electronics. It's not like he could do it from his phone. So there's certain plot conveniences there that, again, I understand this entire franchise has, in a sense, made fun of it. And we've seen it before, of Ghostface magically disappearing, then turning around and being right there. But for me in this movie, I expected a little bit better in certain moments. And again, it's hard for me to talk spoilers, so maybe you'll feel differently once you see the movie. But besides that, it's a small nitpick for such a grand legacy sequel. I think, once again, Scream slices open the horror genre in a clever, meta, and brutal way. Some of the best kills yet, some of the best performances yet, especially because of Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera. Fantastic to see the legacy characters also come back as well. They all just fit into these roles so damn well, and it makes me just want to go do another Scream marathon, even though I just did one. Really enough, I loved how this film tackled toxic fandom, and I think Scream is a must-see this week. If you're a fan of Scream, if you've never seen a Scream movie, I very much recommend that you do before seeing this one, because you might be a little bit confused with certain tie-ins and twists and turns and all the things of why certain things make sense, but as everything is revealed, it totally keeps you enwrapped and honestly guessing till the very end. I didn't know where this movie was really going to go until those final moments of when it was finally revealed of what was happening, but I thought this was clever, it was meta, it was gnarly, and it was freaking fantastic. I loved this movie, and the more and more I think about it, the more and more I like it, even besides my plot conveniences issues that I had with it. This is just a perfect legacy sequel, and I'm so happy to see how Wes's legacy has pretty much been given. And in general, when legacy sequels come out, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're bad. This is one of those awesome ones that you should all see once again. So with all that said, I'm going to give Scream 5, Scream 2022, whatever you want to call it, an A. Thank you once again, guys, for watching this. You guys are seriously all the best. Can't wait to discuss more Scream with you guys down below in the comment section, so leave a comment. And also, if you're looking forward to my more spoiler thoughts reviews on this film, I will be including spoilers within the Scream ranking, so look forward to that. That is going to be coming very soon this weekend, so make sure, again, hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below your guys' thoughts. If you're interested in seeing movies early, head on over to Sam Fun Films on how to see those, and of course, a big thank you to all of you guys once again. I had so much fun talking about this. And of course, until next time, stay classy.
Oh,
Hi, Zach.
seriously, you again?
Yes, it's me.
Come on, man.
Here for
Where are
you.
you at?
Outside.
No, I don't even know who you are, man.
I'm right here, you know.
Are you outside my door right now? Hello? Hello? Oh my god!
You're all mine. Now all of you go see Scream this weekend. Ha ha!